I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Board of Leavenworth County Commissioners. I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All three commissioners are present. I'd like to open up a portion of public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address. Seeing none, we'll close that portion. Any administrative business this time?
I do have a couple of things. One of them, I would like to have Tammy with the solid waste come up and just give an update on the recycling for Tonganoxie.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Tammy.
Mark just wanted me to touch base on the recycling out at Tonganoxie. The 8-yard container was placed on May 8th. The first pickup was May 18th. The second pickup was May 25th. I received an email from Tabitha on the 27th stating that the one that was picked up on the 25th was already full. She doesn't know if people are not breaking down the cardboard or if it's just a lot of stuff in it. I contacted Jerry from Waste Management and he really couldn't tell me anything about it. I did take a sign out there because people were kind of confused on what could go in, so I had him send me something and I went out and placed that on the container of what is accepted and what is not.
So it is getting used.
It is getting used, yes.
All right. So,
And that was before we posted it on our webpage or our Facebook page.
Yeah, that was just kind of an organically grown use because we placed it, we didn't promote it, we hadn't promoted it at all yet. So just want to let you guys know it is being used. There is the potential that we may have to go to the second bin, which you had already approved if needed.
Right.
So, and then Jamie's crew will be keeping an eye on it, make sure it's not being, there's not trash.
And we'll
blowing
have
around.
to
If
do
there is, we'll address it.
if we approve his renovations, we're going to have to do something different then, correct?
I don't think this will impact the renovations, will it?
Or, okay.
The only time it'll be impacted is when we do the overlay of the
Right.
driveway and those type of things, but.
Yeah, the parking lot renovation.
Right.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's
Well,
getting
it's
used.
a matter of, I don't have it in my budget to be picked up anymore.
We'll work that out.
Oh, so that's what you're here for.
No,
Okay.
she was here to give an update.
Everything was going great
Everything was
till
going
then.
good, and then you had to bring up money. We'll make it work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. All right, well, thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Anything else, Mark?
I wanted to ask the board, as I'm getting ready to meet with all of the departments on their budget, I wanted to just ask the board while you are in session here to give me direction on what your goal is for the mill levy this year. So I know what, as we do additional add-ons and whatnot, I mean, are you looking for a hold the line, same as last year? Do you want to see somewhat of a reduction? If I could get some guidance from you on that, what your thoughts are.
Well, I was thinking on the tax lid, we would be obligated to lower it just a little, wouldn't we, on what we collected?
Well, aside from that, because I believe with some of the additions from the sheriff's department, we probably, those requests are exempt from the tax lid. So
Okay.
if we had to go that route, we could, but.
I think we kind of ought to hear from the clerk and make sure that we are going to have to reduce our mill levy, because I've heard both ways.
The clerk and I will work that out. What I was looking for from the board is, are you comfortable if the mill levy is flat? Were you expecting to see a reduction? Those are the things that I'm looking for from you. And
I
then
guess in the past,
we'll work
Clyde
that
and I are aware of this, is that we always ask for a flat, just like it was the last time. And then if there's any enhancements, they come through second. And we have to look at what money we have for expenditures so that we can go forward with enhancements.
Right.
Another thing is, we have to, we've always asked for, what if the departments could reduce it 5%? And we've asked them to come up with that. Some departments, like the smaller ones, aren't able to reduce it 5%. But I think that's worked in the past, I think. I don't know, or you have anything to say on that, Commissioner?
I'm going to be very amazed if we're able to keep it level with the expenditures that we've had
Well,
over the last year.
I know, but there's some of them that are, we'll be looking at as far as the tax lid. Some of them don't pertain to the tax lid.
Right, what I'm looking for, if you can help me identify a goal that would work for this board, then I will make sure as I'm meeting with the departments, if I see requests that are going to increase the mill levy, let's say we're flat and they have add-ons, I can work with them to identify which ones are necessities, which ones can be postponed and whatnot. If your goal is to reduce the mill levy, then if I do that, when I start meeting with the departments, I can help work through that.
Well, I guess my interpretation is what you want is, I'm not for raising the mill levy, because I don't think we're going to have much mill levy to raise because of the tax lid.
Okay.
So that's my interpretation. I don't know what the rest of the commission wants to do.
Absolutely not. We don't want to raise the
Right.
mill levy.
You're right.
But like I said, the tax lid, just take away the exemptions. You know, we're allowed at least, what, 1.4% increase?
1.4%.
Okay. At the same time, I'm sure the majority of the people's appraisals went up on their homes also, so,
That
I mean, like I said, houses are selling real well, and, you know, we're doing comparable sales, and so the average person's appraisal went up, so their taxes are gonna go up anyway, so I think we owe it to the public to at least try to lower the mill levy a little, to offset what their appraisals went up. I mean, and I'm sure there's some people's appraisals went down, but I'd say the majority of them went up.
I think some of them went down, not a lot.
Not very many.
No.
And
So-
that's exactly what I'm looking for is, for our goal, I need to present to you a budget that has a flat mill levy, or do I need to present to you a budget that has
Well,
a slightly reduced?
I'd
mill
like a
levy?
flat.
I guess it
mill
just,
levy.
well, yeah, I guess we really need to know how much we've got coming, or we've collected.
How much carryover there is.
And I guess we want two budgets, one with flat, but I'd really like to see the mill levy lowered because of the first year of the tax lid. I mean, that was the intent of the tax lid, and we are a growing county, we are collecting more money, our appraisals are going up.
Those are all true statements. Our expenses are also going up.
Yes, they
That's
are.
right.
I mean, the cost of insurance, the cost of employment,
Yeah, there's a
the
lot of
cost of
things.
vehicles, all those things are going up as well, which we are fortunate to be in the county that we're in. But I just, working there, if the board.
Without
what I
seeing the
get is
numbers, it's gonna
the
be
board-
difficult to,
The board does not support any increase at all. The flat mill levy is
that'd be the worst
That's
case
the worst
scenario,
case.
An
flat mill.
ideal
So that-
goal.
And that's
But-
so that's what I'm saying is I need that I want to make sure that I don't present a budget to you that there's no way you would entertain at all. So if we can get to
Well-
flat or slightly reduced, then at least the board has a better chance.
One of the things I would like to see is, of course, I'd like to see a flat mill, but also I'd like to see the enhancements, just to look at the enhancements, because there's some enhancements that we might have to fund.
No,
Maybe not,
we'll absolutely will pull those aside and should.
Yeah,
so we can
that's what I
consider
want.
those separately, but-
We've always in the past, Clyde and I, we've always in the past brought up the enhancements, and we've decided which ones we can fund and which ones we can't fund, or which one, maybe we can't fund any of them this year, I don't know. Till we get the budget and till we get your report.
And like I said, I know it's difficult this year with the first year of the tax lid, so.
Okay. Well, we obviously have the tax lid, we'll follow all those rules and regulations, but I didn't want to bring something forward that the board wouldn't even
Yeah, I
support.
don't want you to waste your time
Exactly.
saying we're gonna go out for a vote on a mill levy increase, because I don't think this
No,
board
I don't-
would be for that.
And I don't think
You're
we-
right.
I don't think
So-
any of us have that intention.
Yeah.
But then also, if the enhancements are going to push us over a flat mill levy, then I need to work with the departments to reduce those enhancements as well, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because I don't want to bring in a budget that has an increased mill levy, even if it doesn't impact the tax levy, if that's not what the board's going to support, so.
Like I
That's-
said,
I think I got
I would be in favor of lowering it a little bit just because of everybody's appraisals went up.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mark, a quick question. You can't maintain a flat mill levy and have any type of increases for employees, can you?
I can at this point, yes, I can.
You can't?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll
And-
believe it when I see it.
I have worked with the clerk. We have some we have preliminary numbers put together, obviously. I have all the budgets requests in from the departments. I've been working on those for the last week, just going through them and trying to put everything together. At this point, I believe I can submit a budget that would be sustainable and meet the goals of the board, including a majority of the enhancements that have been requested.
Well, let's see
But-
how it looks.
But
how
I
it
have to
shakes
meet,
out.
I have to meet with each of the departments, because some of the things that I've looked at in the departments that I have identified that could be removed, I need to meet with them to make sure that they're in agreement with that too, in order to get to that goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you contacted those that are outside the county that,
We have their requests.
Yeah.
All of them have asked for increases. Some of them asked for significant increases. I will, obviously, the board will have to consider those.
okay.
All right. Anything else, Mark?
I see an employee of the month acknowledgement on there.
All right. The employee of the month would be Melissa. Come forward.
Yeah, you have to sing.
So you're drawn for employee of the month. Like,
I was.
How many years have you been here?
I have been here for 6 years on the 27th
27th.
of this month.
So you're celebrating an anniversary date and employee of the month.
That is correct, sir.
Well, you'll have to get your picture taken with John here. So
Melissa
you can be on the
has a-
front page.
It won't be that bad.
It won't be that bad.
I thought John was going to say he didn't have any film.
Yeah. Anyways,
Melissa has a very challenging job,
she does.
and she does it very, very well.
I agree. Appreciate your 6 years of service. Hopefully you'll stick around a little longer.
I'm shooting for as many as you have, as y'all.
Okay. I hope you make it. I hope you make
They're
it.
just shooting for that, right?
It just happens, you know. The older you get, the faster time goes, and pretty soon, then you're retired.
I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, well, enjoy your
Thank you,
parking
Melissa.
space. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, and my day off.
All right. Have commissioners had a chance to look at the minutes?
I have. I move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Voting.
Aye.
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 Okay. Have had a chance to look at the agenda for the week of June 5th. we got our safety days next week from Friday.
Yes. And will you be back for,
Next week, yeah, it's just this week.
yeah. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Voting.
Aye.
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 Okay, so we have no OCBs. I guess we need a motion to adjourn this meeting and,
I got something here for the public.
Oh, we didn't, you did public comments.
yeah, I did
You
public
did, I'm sorry,
comment.
you said sold before I got.
Well, we're getting ready to have another meeting right after this one.
Okay.
So we can open up public comment for that one. So a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
voting.
Aye.
Aye, this
Aye.
concludes our first meeting for today. We'll start.
16 minutes, that's a record.
That's a record. Okay, I'd like to call the second meeting to order, the Board of Leavenworth County Commissioners. I'd like to open up with public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come forward and state your name and address. Podium up there.
Okay.
Name's Brian Lee, 17309 Dakota Drive, Leavenworth. And I'm here today to ask for a variance for an entrance. Basically what I've got is an entrance to a piece of property that I recently purchased that we would like to move for a number of reasons. Primary reasons, a safety concern. Where the entrance is right now is about 200 feet, 150 feet north of where I'd like it to be. The issue is where I'd like it to be is roughly 70 feet from neighbor's entrance. I've spoken with county engineer as well as planning and zoning department. I've gotten two different answers. Basically, one of them's telling me that I can do this, one of them's telling me I can't be within 200 feet of the neighbor's entrance. I'd like to basically just ask you guys for a variance to be within that 200 feet minimum to put my new entrance in. I've got some maps here I'd like to show you guys if possible, the reasoning why I want this.
Which
And this is a main arterial road?
County Road 33.
No, it's Collector Road.
Which department was it that said you couldn't do it?
Engineering department.
You can put an entrance in, yes.
The,
Standards.
I'll show you guys.
Is this where you
both
wanna
here.
move it to?
This is where I want to move it to. This is where it is.
It's down
Highway
here,
92.
right
Yes, that's the new one. I want to move it to right here. This is 25 acres and a barn. The barn's the only structure on the property. It's all 100% farm use. We come off of 92 highway and head north on 33 with our tractors. And we make a left-hand turn right here all the time. And we get passed all the time, whether we have our turn signals on or not. We want to move this closer to the south, or further to the south, because by the time cars get to here and they're passing us, they're doing 40 to 50 miles an hour. If we can get over here, they're doing 20 to 25 miles an hour. Also, we come in and out of here with semis hauling hay and grain. We cannot make this turn with a semi. We would like to have an entrance that's just a 90-degree turn going right up to the barn, just a little over 90 degrees, going right up to the barn.
How close are you to the neighbors?
It's about 75 feet. Now,
75.
this entrance over
It
here,
doesn't show.
it's
that-
not their main entrance.
Yeah.
Their main entrance is off of Highway 92.
So this is
this-
just a secondary entrance?
It is. It goes to a little barn. Let me grab another map here.
Because I couldn't see an entrance, I thought,
Yeah, it's on his map.
okay, it's not on my map.
This is their entrance, and that's a map from 2009. They haven't used it since then, and it's just grown up in the brush. It does not get used. Now, that's not to say that they can't clear the brush and use it sometime, but it's not their main entrance.
It's a secondary entrance
Would they
that
be
is
willing
not
to take that
used.
entrance out, you think?
I don't know. I haven't asked them about it.
Well, if they took that entrance out, that would solve the problem, correct?
Well, I believe that goes to a structure.
It goes to their barn.
They're
Yeah.
gonna wanna remove it.
Oh, I thought you said they used K92 for an entrance.
their entrance to their house.
Oh, okay.
And then they've got that barn behind there. They use the entrance off of 33 to go to the barn.
David, what are your comments about this?
We have standards on driveway spacing, and we have standards on the width of the driveway. I just believe we should follow what our standards are.
It's my understanding that planning and zoning and the engineering department are in disagreement on what those standards are, though.
Those standards are not set by the planning and zoning department. We have a sheet that clearly shows what the driveway spacing requirements are.
So you're saying planning and zoning says this is all right, but Public Works says it's not?
Right, and if you look at the map that Mr. Graber has, across the road, I think both of those maps show, across the road, the driveways are 120 feet apart. So, you know,
Planning and zoning issues the permit. They don't approve the location, pipe size, driveway width, any of those. All of that information is left up to the vote. All they do is issue the permit.
I guess, Mr. Lee, are you intending to build out here, or are you just gonna leave it?
no,
as ag?
I need a better way to get semis up to my barn. And another issue I'm having is I was told that the maximum driveway width is 24 feet, is that correct?
That's correct.
I can't get a 53-foot trailer into a 24-foot driveway without taking up the whole road for a couple minutes while I'm trying to jackknife it around. There's another safety issue. 53-foot trailer just doesn't turn into a 24-foot driveway, 24-foot wide driveway very easily.
What's, not to bring up somebody else, but in my district, Mr. Bardroff, how wide an entrance does he have? Because he has semis, and that's what I was referencing. He has semis. How wide a entrance does he have? I'm sure he has to have more than 24 feet.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't answer that.
Well, widening, I don't have any problem
I don't
extending it, because like I said, if he does smash the end of it, Public Works is gonna have to go out there and cut off the end and replace it. I mean, we maintain all
That's
that.
the reason we limit the width of driveways, because
Right, but if
driveway
it
gets
gets,
wider, the pipe gets longer, and that pipe's our responsibility.
Right.
So it's an increased cost for the Public Works
right,
Department.
but if you smash the end of it, it's an increased cost too. They have to go out and cut the end off too.
I agree.
Done a lot of them, but the spacing, I think, is what our issue is. And what would happen with this driveway in the future, say, down the line, 5-10 years from now, that there was a structure built, then would the driveway have to be moved to be in compliance?
No, once they have an entrance, it's there. We don't distinguish between whether it's used for agriculture or for residential. That's.
So if we do grant a variance to move this driveway, then it's a residential entrance, he can build a driveway or build a home.
Next week, yes.
What I'd like to ask is, across the road, he references that there's 120 feet between the two.
Correct.
So
That was
why would
years
that-
ago, that was
It
probably
could have been something
before.
the board approved back then. I can't answer how it came to be.
Okay,
Mhm.
I just was curious why this is 120 feet when we have 200-foot standards. And
The final issue I have with placing it 200 feet from the neighbor's entrance, and this is really no concern to you guys, it's just more concerns me. It's in the lowest part of that area, it's right in the swag. If we get 3 inches of blowing snow, I've got 3-foot snow drifts, and I can't get to the barn without shoving snow out of the way all day. Like I said, that doesn't concern you, that's all me. The main thing is the safety concern of making that left-hand turn. I'd like to get it to where cars are moving a little slower when they're passing us.
David, could I ask a question of you? The 120 feet, and that's what you're saying, this from this point to this point?
Correct, rough approximately.
120 feet. Why do we have a 200-foot? I mean, it seems like 120 feet is quite a ways.
That's that 200 feet's on a collector street. You got higher volumes and higher speeds. So they're spaced further. You want to
So-
space further apart.
His argument to move it, you're kind of making it for him when you say, because it's Collector Street, the speeds are faster.
I don't
So
know
if
if
he
there's a
moves it down
significant-
here where the speeds are slower,
I can't tell you if those speeds are slower at that point or not. I mean, cars are coming off 92 at a pretty good rate, so.
If you turn the tractor left with somebody passing you, I can guarantee you, you'll know that the speed's slower the closer you get to 92.
It's your district.
I'll make a motion to approve a variance to the, how much variance are we requesting?
It's basically 75 feet from the center of the neighbor's driveway to the center of the driveway where I want to put the new one. The old entrance is on my property is going to go away.
So it's not going to be across from the other driveways, so there won't be any impact on them. It's going to be kind of almost halfway between the two driveways on the opposite side of the road.
Right.
I stand by the motion. I'll make a motion that we allow the variance for safety reasons.
Second.
With discussion, who's moving the driveway? Is Public Works gonna end up having to do?
No, he'll be responsible for removing the existing. That's a platted lot, and the plat states you can only have one entrance on that parcel.
Oh, that is platted, 25 acres is
Platted
platted?
lot, yes.
Do you have to move the pipe or anything?
I don't know, we won't reuse it. They'll need to purchase. a new
The old pipe is rusted out on the bottom. I've got a backhoe, tear it out, take the scrap metal.
I just request that, can you please specify the spacing that you're allowing?
It's not, you mean the spacing,
The 75 feet from center line to center line. of the
Center
two
line to
driveways is
center
what he
line.
was- What he'd mentioned.
What was the neighbors was 120 feet, okay. So you got a motion and a second, and the motion was for a variance to allow 75 feet spacing between the two entrances, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, voting,
Aye.
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 Thank you, gentlemen. Is there a way I can get all that in writing? Just so I've got it for my records?
We'll have a
It'll
variance
be-
prepared, and we'll have to sign it next week.
Yep, and then you'll have to have it recorded.
Okay.
It'll have to be recorded, yeah,
Okay.
so. It
Thank you
won't
very
be
much.
today. No, thank you.
Do you want those maps?
No.
You want this one back?
Please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're ready for Public Works.
All right, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Public Works Department has solicited RFQs for construction engineering on the 147th Street project. We received 4 responses from interested firms. The scoring was provided to you on the RBA, showing how those firms were ranked. We are seeking approval to enter into an agreement with McAfee Henderson Solutions in the amount of $212,000, $212,089.60 for the construction engineering on 147th Street.
Did you have an
Motion to approve.
anticipated cost?
No, this wasn't something we had prepared an estimate for. Usually, well, KDOT projects is usually about 10% of the construction, but this is well into that.
Mark, have you reviewed this?
Yes, I have. And I talked to Mr. Luchin about the review process, and I agree with his request. think it's something that's needed for a project like this. It's a little more than even fully staffed, it's more than we would normally be.
Right.
And this will be a full-time inspector. There will be somebody on job, on site whenever the contractor is working. Instead of just, since it's such a large project, we want to have somebody out there at all times.
They're also required to provide any equipment that they need for testing, coring, anything like that.
Did you make a motion, Commissioner Hall?
I did.
I move approval.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Voting.
Aye.
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 I thought I did.
We got it.
That's all right. Don't make any difference who makes the motion.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I have 2 items this morning. The first item is the Justice Center roof. We solicited bids for the roof. 4 bids came back in, 3 using a Firestone roof and 1 using a roof called GAF. The Delta Innovative Services was the low bidder, and we're asking approval to go with the roof replacement.
And what type of roof is going to be put on then?
GAF,
A GAF?
yes.
And what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's just a brand like Firestone.
Oh,
It's just a
okay.
different brand of roof. They say they're, from what they've told me, is they're a bigger roofing company than what Firestone is, but Firestone's a bigger company with the tires
Tires,
and
right.
everything else.
Have you gotten a report on roofs of this type?
Of what we're gonna put on?
They actually have a larger install base than Firestone. I
Right.
did ask Trevor this, he has talked to people who have these roofs on, they carry similar warranties.
Right, and we put pretty close to the same roof on the health department a couple years ago. So,
Janet, could I ask you a question while you're here? I know we passed a $500,000 increase to do this roof, but a $500,000 won't cover the cost of the whole roof, will it?
No.
Right. What we had determined was to put the $500,000 towards the roof, to use about $100,000 out of capital improvement, and the city is picking up 16.9% of that cost. I have, since Trevor went out for bid, talked to Paul Kramer at the city, and they're aware of the $118,000 that they will be responsible for, and they will cut us a check for that amount of money as soon as the bid is approved.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the city was on board with this and
I did.
that
I
we
talked
had
to Paul.
plenty of funding. We don't want to get halfway through this project. Oh, we don't have all the funding.
Now, we're good. Actually, we put the entire $600,000 in Trevor's budget with the transfer from capital improvement, so it's all taken care of.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve?
Second.
Voting.
Aye.
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 my second item this morning, we need to, based on a sheriff's project that he's gonna do later on in the year, we're needing to replace the fire alarm system in the Justice Center. I have talked to a company called Professional Fire Alarm Systems out of Topeka. They are a state procurement contractor, and they gave me a price of $92,991 to replace the fire alarm system over at the Justice Center.
So you didn't put it out for bid?
No, since they were a state procurement contractor, I did not put it out for bid.
The state contracts meet bid specifications because they have to go out for bid on an annual basis, so they meet our bid specifications.
And this contractor did the similar work down in Emporia, so they're very familiar with what they need to do across the street.
Is there a warranty on this work?
There probably is, but I didn't ask them specifically what the warranty would be.
I mean, do they
I think
stand
that would be a
behind it
good
for a
question
year
to
or
ask 'em.
10 years or what?
I do not know that. I can ask them.
I'd like that.
But they also do maintenance on this type of system also,
Yes,
correct?
the system that they would put in would be a similar system that we have here in the courthouse. It would be the exact system we have, well, the exact brand that we have here, which means anybody can do the work on the system. We don't have to go with ones, we do not have to go back with them to fix the system. We can go with anybody that does fire alarm work.
Good enough?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Voting.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
You will check on the warranty and everything?
I will, and I will send you guys, would you guys like it in an email?
Clyde can't get an email. Well, yeah, I guess.
If you
send it
email
to-
feedback, BOCC feedback, everybody will get it.
Okay, I will find out about the warranty items, and then I will email back to you.
Okay. All right, we're ready for EMS.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Jamie.
Bringing back the remodel project for Station 2. We've talked about this now for a while.
Several years.
Oh, I don't know, it's been
After
several years.
visiting
now.
with Trevor, the recommendation is at this point in time to solicit contractors for a design build for the remodel. And that's kind of where we're at, is at the point to put out solicitation bids. And I'm just asking the board for permission to do that at this point in time.
Yep.
I have Janet here to talk about the finance side, and Trevor.
You know, that's what
that means.
That was one of gonna be my first questions, is
Well-
how to finance this.
Until we get a bid, we're not really gonna have a hard number. You don't have any engineer's estimates, do you, on this project?
No.
It'd be,
The process we would like to take would be a design build process. So we put out RFPs and RFQs for interested firms that would be interested in the remodel. And then we would work with them to come up with a price figure based on.
Would that
the
be,
remodel.
so we could use local contractors if they were low bid?
We will not do a bid per se. It'd be like hiring an architect or an engineer to do the work.
So you're
it would
estimating
be
that this will
local
be under 20,
contractors.
this will be under 25,000?
No.
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 Well, that's what I was going for, is,
But it falls under professional services since it's a design build. But we would use local contractors to do the work.
You simply are asking today for authority to go out for proposals and bids. So move.
second,
voting.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Anything else?
Adjournment.
Huh? Well, I
Oh.
I guess PRP, I don't want to put you on the spot, David. Are you going to be able to do one this year? You think?
Put him on the spot.
Well, I hate to do that, but I know he can answer.
I'd like to. I can't tell you yes or no at this point. I'd
Okay.
like to do the next one on the list, but.
I mean, I know.
I mean, we can-
There
can
didn't
we
have
do-
no funding last year for it, but I thought
Right.
maybe we could do it.
Right.
Can we, there's no money in the 1 cent sales tax for this project, the PRP, like the,
No, there were not funds
No.
identified specifically for this. Left funds at the end, when we determine what surplus funding we have, then we could,
we're mandated to do at least 20% of the funding to go to the outer roads in the county.
No, it's whatever's left over the 80%.
right, any of the residual.
Anything that's left
revenue.
over 80%, of the 80% was supposed to go to the 3 road projects. Anything left over of 80% can go to the secondary roads. So until we get these other projects out of the way, we're not gonna know what we got.
Once we
That was
bid,
my-
once we bid the other projects, then we'll know where we're at.
But I'm talking about bids
PRP
with the
program.
PRP that she's changed,
But
that we
there was
don't have
no-
to rebuild the whole
It
road.
was not funded last year.
Right, but he's saying he can save 80% by not building the whole road, just grading ditches and there's certain projects he can do that on.
The ultra low volume.
Yeah, and I didn't know if he had one he could do this year with the money he
Well,
has.
with all the rain, we're behind on 207th, and with our personnel shortages, that's cutting into what we're getting done on 207th, so.
We're behind on 207. That's not music to
No,
my
I know.
ears.
But the goal is, I'm more worried about getting 207th done before I'm
Mhm.
worried about starting a PRP project.
Okay.
I'm more
So-
interested in you getting 207th Street
I'll
done. too.
bet you are. Okay. So, and what did we decide on dust control on any of these?
The board decided, the board did not approve dust control
Right.
on any of these.
So, we used to dust control all of them. That was
Yeah,
100%.
right.
We had 3 that we dust
But
controlled.
I kind of think that the dust control is great. If we're, maybe the year before we're going to do, but, I don't, if we have it in our budget to put the
Right.
PRP back in place,
If it's a project that we actually intend to complete in the next, like if it's one of the top 3 or 4 priorities, then it would make sense. But if it's one that doesn't meet the criteria, such as it doesn't connect to an existing paved road,
Mhm.
then it would not make sense to do that. Now, I think there was a gentleman who was in who requested dust control, was it 179th because of the construction on the bridge?
182nd probably.
187, okay. I didn't know, you said you were gonna go down and maybe do some traffic counts.
Yeah, I sat down there one morning last week and then later in the afternoon, and the traffic volumes were very low
That was on north of Evans.
between Evans and State Avenue.
Right. What about south? Anybody complaining down
I
there?
haven't received any complaints on that stretch.
It's just a stretch between State and Evans.
Correct.
Okay.
well, I think a lot of people have gotten the information out that there was no funding for the PRP program for this year. And so I think that's kind of calmed the water, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I know people still want it, but can we use any RIF money for any of these smaller projects?
Well, I don't think the funding's the issue. I think he's got to do a road that's,
Right
by
now,
not
it's
rebuilding
staff-
the whole road, it's just he's
staff
got
resources.
staffing.
Yeah.
So,
Staffing's a big issue. I mean, it's a big issue. I mean, we could probably find funding to do one of them this year. It's just more of prioritizing projects that have been around for a long time that we're trying to get taken care of.
okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So
Make a
moved.
motion to adjourn. A second?
Second.
Voting?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.